Hello, good evening. So, just bear with me. I get the Go Live pulled up on my laptop so that as people hop on, I can chat with you guys. Which, as always, you know that's my favorite part about going live is to interact with our group. So, now I'm going to give you guys an advance heads up. I've been having a cold. I've had a cold since toward the end of last week, so if I don't sound quite like myself, that's why. However, I'm doing better. I am very grateful for Mucinex. Just because it's just sometimes how we get that seasonal crud at times. That's what I've been working through. But I've been good though. So like many of you guys know, I recently returned from seeing my mom over the weekend. And my little niece, I was there for a couple of her first. So I was there for her first ride in a swing set, the bucket seats. I was there for that. That was her first time doing that at a park. I was also there for her first cupcake. And I was literally seeing my little niece like double fist her cupcake. I mean, she was tearing into it. So, that was a really proud moment. Unfortunately, it got her so sugared up. She was up for hours after that. So it's not so good because it kept my mom up. For me, I was kind of like the bad auntie. I gave her little pink sugary cupcake around 9:30 at night, and my little niece, per my mom, did not go to sleep till about 4:30 the following morning. And here I was in her guest bedroom, totally sound asleep after taking NyQuil, because NyQuil puts me out. She said my little niece was very much like the Gremlin movie where the, Gizmo, his little kind, Tim, remind me, it's the what are they called? Malgi, or that species. Anyhow, if you feed them after midnight, they turn into gremlins. Malguy. Okay, I'm looking at what he wrote me. Malguy. But if you feed them after midnight, they turn into the gremlins. And my little niece, I think, turned into a little gremlin, Not sure on the spelling. That's fine, honey. You're probably closer than me. And unfortunately, right before my go live, it's a Mogwai. Very good to know. That's how you say that. Oh, hi, Rebecca. Welcome. How are you doing? I've been meaning to message you, by the way. I still want to meet you at some point for coffee. I've not forgotten. Good evening. Very cool. Thank you, Tim. I was actually able to pronounce that. Yeah, I'm trying to keep it out of my head that one of my doggies killed this little baby bunny that had been out in our garden. Like, our garden's not doing so great this year. But the cool thing was it provided a little environment for a baby bunny that my husband discovered this morning. And right before my go live, before I came, down here into my room to do it, he told me that Luke killed the baby bunny. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. I'm like, oh, it's such a bummer. It's hard to be mad at him because I really believe that he's supposed to be this little farm hunting dog. He's always, unfortunately trying to kill birds and various things outside. I think, he's got a lot of puppy left in him, so he tends to run after things. Yeah. So it's kind of hard to be mad at an animal for doing what's in their nature to do, but it's such a bummer because this little bunny he killed was so cute. And I guess the reason he's not killed our bunny that we keep as a pet, because I literally have a Jabba the Hutt for a rabbit. Like, it's got multiple chins and it's pretty big. I guess it's the size that intimidates Luke because he hasn't tried to attack my bunny. I literally have a food chain in my house. I really do. But anyhow, things, getting back to my trip to Tennessee, things went well. It was great to visit with my mom and my little niece. And of course, I'm really happy to be back home. Even though Tennessee will always have a place in my heart. What I've known for some time is wherever my family is home to me. So I'm happy wherever that is. So yeah, so it's just good to kind of get back into the normal swing of things, you know. So tonight we're going to do the spread that when I very first got my cold, I didn't have the voice or anything to do, which is the Triple Goddess spread. And Rebecca, I know you've got this book, so the spread is on page 213, in case you're wanting to look at that. So Sasha Graham wrote, and let's see here, July 24th is the day that this spread was initially on in her book. And it says here, on this day, Robert Graves, English poet, scholar, translator, and writer of antiquity, was born on this day in 1895. It says, summation of spread. Graves popularized the conception of the triple goddess in his famous book, The White Goddess. Really? I did not know a man came up with this. This is the very first time I'm reading this guy, so right now I'm shocked. A man came up with the triple goddess. Really? Oh, very good, Rebecca. I'm glad you found it. High honor. So, wow, Robert Graves. A man discovered the triple goddess. And that was back in 1895. I would have assumed it was a woman. I mean, any guys in my group, please don't take that the wrong way. But as women, we can relate to each other, what we go through, right? With the phases and evolutions and changes in life. I didn't know a man could come up with that. But it says here that Graves popularized the conception of the triple goddess in his famous book entitled The White Goddess. Graves theorized there was an archetypal triad of goddesses found in the mythology of Europe and the ancient Middle East. This triple goddess represents the three stages of female life: the cycles of the moon and the realms of earth, underworld, and heavens. This spread uses the gentle beauty of Robert Graves' legacy and the triple goddess to inform its questions. I mean, am I the only one right now that's blown? Honor, did you know that a man discovered the triple goddess theme? Or you too, Rebecca, had you guys heard of this? I know my husband hadn't. But, wow, I'm really shocked right now. This is seriously the first time I read that. And Sasha says that Graves sometimes wrote under a process called analeptic thought, a term he created for throwing one's mind back in time and receiving impressions. You're surprised too, Rebecca. It's not just me being a goober. No, I seriously would not have thought that a male came up with that. I really wouldn't. So that's really cool. And so she has a picture of the high priestess, which is our card from the Major Arcana, and it says the triple goddess symbol, also a symbol of Wicca, rests on the crown of the high priestess. The symbol emulates the simultaneous waxing, full, and waning moon, and therefore the triple goddess. So that's something. So, all right. And I'd also like to point out a random fun fact that many of us probably already know too, but just in case you don't, to understand or have faith in the triple goddess, you don't have to be a Wiccan either. I think it's just being a female that we understand the evolution and changes as we go along in life, from that maiden, mother, crone, however that manifests in life. Someone can simply be pagan and not be Wiccan. So, but again, I'm not a big fan of labels, so we won't bother going into the whole thing with religion. It could be a sticky subject, so I try to kind of lean away from that unless I'm with my friends or a close-knit circle, because you know what they say at work, which you guys are my circle of friends. It doesn't feel like work to me. you know. They say if it's religion or politics, you really should try to kind of stay away from it because it's hot button, you know, subject matter. So now I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to like get situated here with my book, and I'm going to like point my camera down. Let's see here. So I'm gonna be using a really favorite deck, I think. I know Honor loves it, I love it, and I think many of you guys do too since it's come out. The Tarot of the Witch's Garden by Sasha Graham and by Natasha. I'm not going to try to say the last name because I've tried. I just cannot pronunciate it. But that's going to be the deck I'll be using. So, yeah, I really like Sasha Graham's work. She's pretty cool. Not that I've ever met her. Like, I didn't meet her at the thing I went to in Salem. So, but who knows? Maybe one day our paths across and I'll have to thank her for her work, you know. Especially with this book I've been getting so much use out of with all of her spreads. And of course, I'll keep checking my commentary, so feel free to comment on, you know, what we're doing or whatnot, or if you have any questions or additional insight, because you know I love different insights. So now I'm going to point our camera down. All right. And so, and I love the backs of these cards. Aren't they so pretty? Really like that. I love the green she used. And I might end up making this a deck I actually do readings for others with. I usually have my standard 3 that I take with me when I do readings for events, but I think this might be one that I start to utilize just because it's such a easy to interpret, like, well done deck. Like, I think people who know nothing about tarot could look at the images and have it totally resound with them. So as far as casting your cards, it says the structure of Maiden, Mother, and Crone offers insight at any stage of life, cast in 3 groups: Maiden, which is waxing, Mother, which is full, and Crone, which is waning. So we're going to do 3 groups of 3 for a total of 9 cards. So again, due to my limited, you know, table space on my altar, okay, I'm going to go ahead and just go across in groups of 3. So this is my Maiden, Mother, which I need to clean my, I've got like candles that went everywhere. So Maiden, Mother, and Crone. So we have a total of our 9 cards here. Remember that you guys have like a mirror image of what I have. So this is my top row, this is my left, and I'll be working over to my right. This is our second row, and this is our third row. So the first group, again, is our Maiden group going across. And the first card asks, what enchants me? And actually, I'm going to go ahead and turn them all over like I generally do too. Okay. So that would be the Page of Swords. And I think that this is a very good card to get. And again, we're talking about our maiden energy, which is, we're talking about that youthful, optimistic, like we're going to conquer the world energy that we all had, or some people in our group may even still have if they're, say, early on in their life. We're talking late teens to 20s. I remember that time frame, and now I'm really going to age myself because I'm in my 40s. But I do remember my 20s where you feel like you can just do anything and the world is literally at your feet. And it not only are you optimistic, but you're still wanting to learn and travel and meet people. And a lot of us go out and we get to drinking and getting tattoos, possibly get into various forms of mischief because we feel like we're missing out when we're young, if we're not engaged and going out. If we're alone, again, that's not a good feeling when you're young, right? And I don't know if I'm alone in this, because when I was 19, I was in the military. So in the military, it's a different life. You work hard and they teach you to play even harder. So my life experience may, totally differ from your own, and I get that. But this makes sense that for this question, what enchants me, that we got the Page of Swords, because what we have is somebody very much looking up and forward, very optimistic, okay? The pages are all about not really having that clarity, but they certainly want to go ahead and do what they need to do to progress into that knight energy that would follow this card. And it's like finding the correct words and gaining that confidence. So I like how she's got the sword that's in between her two hands that are open. Again, very open to any type of knowledge, experiences, relationships, friendships, right? I really like that. And I like how she's got her little dagger in her part of her little tool belt. She's got a map at her side. And she's got her little, little bag. Who knows what she's got in that. And I love how we've got the predominant blue in the sky, that starry night sky. Which, when you think about it, it's rather romantic, and you look up at the stars and you think about your destiny, like that's the big question. I always feel bad for young people when they get at 18, and we've all been there. What do you want to do now that you're out of high school? What is your chosen career? What are you going to do next? And I always feel for people when they have that question, because really, when we were that age, did any of us know what we wanted to be? Did any of us know we were about to go in debt for a college education, but again, very optimistic. So that I get this. This is actually a very appropriate card, I think, for that question. The second one would be, what am I enthusiastic about? And we have the Six of Pentacles. This as well makes sense to me. Okay, again, reflecting on that maiden energy. So with the Six of Pentacles, we're all in one of these places at one point. We're either in a position to where we can help others, or, we're in the position of needing help and other people helping us. But ultimately, think back again to that youthful energy. Ultimately, everybody wants a life with meaning and purpose. They want to make a difference in the world, and I do see that with our younger generation when I interact with them and talk to them. Even if you happen to watch the news, which I generally don't, because I'm not really big on watching the news. I tend to read stories online more so than tuning into any type of news network, okay? It's just not my jam. But when people are younger, they definitely want to be able to give something back and make the world better. And they question those social norms that are in place that are like total, say, BS. They want equality, equal rights, that everybody has a place at the table. They want to give back. They want to make the earth better. So when I was growing up, we didn't hear a whole lot about recycling, right? Well, now it's very common for a young person, or even somebody like me who's a bit older, to know about the concept of recycling and why it's important, right? So I really like that that's what we have here. What am I enthusiastic about? And when you have this card again, we're looking at being able to help other people and make change. So that makes sense to me, And then our third question with this maiden energy is, what is beginning? And we have the Eight of Pentacles. I love that we have this card. It has our youthful energy here, and it's showing an elder, and she's showing the kids how to make this wreath. And, they're kind of like, very attentive, paying attention. One looks very much focused. We have that repetition, right? So what we see here with this question, what is beginning, this could be when someone's in that maiden energy, finding that mentor that could kind of show them the ropes in life or their chosen profession. So no matter if they go into a technical path, they join the military, or they go to college, they're going to look, excuse me, I'm going to get a swig of my Coke while I talk. They're going to look for that mentor to basically help them find their way in life, because it's exciting, but it's scary at the same time when you're on that learning curve. And when I look at this, it also stands for when you choose your path in life, you're not going to be the best at it starting off. You just got to keep learning and growing and really working at your craft. So it shows that work ethic, that focus, that drive to make all of these, that a maiden, somebody with that maiden energy is going to have, you know. So I think we're off to a good start with these. It makes sense to me. And again, feel free to tell me what your thoughts on these things. If you see anything different, please feel free to add. You know, it's welcome. And now I'm going to start my second swig of Coke, because you guys know I love to cut up. Oh, man. Okay, so our second row here would be progressing into the mother stage, right? So this fourth card would be, what do I know? And that would be Four of Wands. This makes sense that we're getting this card for that mother energy, because by the time somebody progresses from that youthful maiden energy to the mother, in whatever shape or form that takes, they're going to have more stability, ideally. Four is stable as a table. In tarot, we've got community, we've got that passion that's been focused and contained to make this awesome environment and this support system, right? So, and it's a reason to celebrate. So I think that's really cool, just looking at this. And I love the sunflowers, which is a nod to, say, the sun card from the major arcana. So the outlook, which is what we all ideally hope for when we're young and as we work hard to progress into this stage of maturity, would be that bright outlook and becoming established and hopefully having that stability and structure, and maybe some of the nicer things in life that we all kind of hope to get as we get older, you know. Rebecca, I am with you. I love sunflowers too. I saw so many sunflowers on my trip to Tennessee, and they were like, people would be planting them by the side of the road, and they'd be huge and beautiful. I'll have to like either send you a picture or whatnot of some sunflowers that I took. Like, it was so pretty. Like, oh my gosh. I just love how cheerful they are and how big they are, you know. So the next question here would be, what has grown? And we have the Six of Cups. So again, we've got sixes here. We had a Six of Pentacles with our second question here, which is, what am I enthusiastic about? Again, we were talking about hopefully being able to help others and elicit a positive change and have a life of meaning, right? Now we go down one and we've got a six. So we have a Six of Cups. What has grown? And what we have here are our cups are full, right? And then again, helping another. And this is showing, when you think of cups, it's all about the emotions. It's about love. How do we keep our theoretical cups full? And being able to help somebody else who may not have a cup, you know? And I love how earthly it is too. So even though this is it's a cup card, we have like, it looks like a beet or some sort of radish here in the background. Not that I eat those, but I'm familiar with what they look like. And these two little fairies, it looks like they're along like some roots here. So when you think of a tree's roots, you think of that stability and structure, which I feel like is another nod here to what we were just talking about. and being in a good place. This is what we're hoping for with that maiden energy and with that motherly energy, being able to tend, whether it be to, again, we take care of our family, our friends, but maybe outreaching in the community, and just having just so much to give and to offer the world. And just even one act of kindness changes things, right? So I think that's really cool when you think about the question, what has grown? And I would say it would be that fruitful productivity. And then it's more than just the money and the stuff that we own, because we're not taking that with us anyway. It's building those meaningful relationships in life, right? And being able to be there for other people, because life is a journey, and it surely is not an easy one, is it? You know? And Rebecca says, love it. Oh, that's cool. I'm glad that you love it. That's awesome. It makes me smile. So this card asks, what stirs in me? And we have the Six of Wands. So with this, we see this beautiful woman atop this white horse that has reared back. So it's like it's rearing to go. She is fully grasping onto this wand, and it's totally lit. So her flame is focused, and she's been able to take that little spark that starts off with the Ace of Wands and build it into where she is currently. And then the Six of Wands, it looks to me that the people that are looking up at her are just kind of like looking to her as a sort of like leader in a way. And she still has this little, it looks like where you keep a map on her little belt here, right? So, you know, the fives are all about conflict. Six is about getting past it. So this is like getting people on your side, honestly. After you have the turmoil of the fives, and with the Five of Wands, you know, with that, everybody would be trying to be heard and not listening to the other person and not compromising. And by the time we get to the sixes, we have that commonality and compromise, and we have that leadership, and we have truth and clarity, right? And so it goes back to her question, what stirs in me? And I think that would be to possibly take on a type of leadership role, if not already by this stage. Because to mother something doesn't have to be a human being. We give birth to all sorts of things. This could be any sort of project, anything that you create, whether it be art, music. It could be beautifying the park, a rundown park that doesn't look so good. As somebody's like, you know, I want to make my community better. I'm going to work with my neighbors and beautify it and plant some things, maybe plant a community garden. Nobody has to formally announce that somebody is the leader. Sometimes it's just putting one foot in front of the other, and you give people a voice when they come to you with things, and you're working together for a common goal. You can accomplish a lot of great things. And that is very much a mothering energy. It's giving birth, right? And being able to influence people to be on your side and to gain their trust to be able to do that. So I really like this card, honestly. I think that's pretty cool. And then for our crone, which is these last three cards, the first question is, how am I wise? We have the Page of Wands. So I think the older that we get in life, we realize there is less that we really know about things. Now, I don't think I'm alone in this. When I went to SLU for my nursing degree, it was Father Lasan was a Catholic priest who he taught theology. And I loved his course because it was really laid back. If you participated, he told you you're going to pass my class. He's like, I don't trip off grades. And we'd have really good sound debates in his class, you know. But like he said, the older we get, the less we realize we know. And instead of revenge, we seek forgiveness. And those words stuck in my head because he was such a sweet little old man. Like, I just loved, he was one of my favorite teachers, honestly. So it makes sense to me with How Am I Wise that we're getting a Page of Wands, because again, we're back to that stage, kind of like where we began in that maiden energy with a page. Well, as a crone, we're still a page. Despite our life experiences and our knowledge and all these various things that have happened to us by the time we get to our little crone phase, it's just being humble in that and knowing that there's still a lot that we don't know. And it's looking for something to still be involved in. Our work is not done, and it's giving back to others, but it's also learning, right? Because things change and evolve, even science does, and what we understand about things. Being very open to keeping a new spark. What will always be our new spark that we're working on? We have to contain all of this energy, right? If it's not focused and it's everywhere, well, then we're not really manifesting, right? We need to fine tune it and focus it. So I really love that we have that. And it looks like she's got like a little, I don't know if that's a fox or if it's some sort of dog, but that's like a little spirit animal. So I think it's somebody being clever and sly like a little fox. But again, I think no matter how old we get, it's keeping that passion, that spark, that creativity, and being able to express ourselves and to learn our whole lives. Not just in school, like I tell my kids, but you learn your whole life, right? So I love that How Am I Wise is realizing that we don't know everything. Very much that page energy. It's good to maintain the questioning way of being, you know? The 8th card would be, what do I understand? And that would be the Knight of Wands. So we understand in our crone phase that yes, we don't know everything. We always got to have some little something we're working on, you know, to focus our drive and creativity. But what do I understand is that we can't stay in that energy. At some point, we got to take off and do that Knight of Wand energy, or else we're not manifesting. So when we're in that page phase, we're going to be planning, when we're accumulating info, and then taking off. And I feel like as we get older, we totally take off quicker because we don't care as much about what people think about us. I think when we're younger in the maiden energy, we totally do, because we may not have all that confidence that we do in our crone phase. But by the time somebody's in their crone phase and they've went through the hard knocks of life, these people are forces to reckon with all their wrinkles, all their sags, all their lines. There's a beauty to that, showing they've weathered the storms and they're still standing. To me, there's, again, a beauty in that, and it's just knowing that, hey, all right, you know where you're going. You got your plan. You're going to totally take off and see where it goes, you know. And plus, by the crone phase of our life, we're talking about the end of our lives. So it's not like we've got like another 80-some years to live, right? We're going to be like, okay, I want to accomplish this before I ultimately pass away. So at this point in life, somebody may be reflecting about, what is on my bucket list? What have I not done yet? Okay, which would be our page energy. Have I not traveled somewhere? Have I not jumped out of that flying airplane? Is there a type of food I've never eaten? Or is there a course at the community college I want to take? Just to interact with others and build on my knowledge. And then to execute that. Because again, you know, if you only have so much time left on Earth left, and I hate to say this, but some people do get that timeline depending on any type of medical type stuff that comes up. If they're told they've only got a year to live or 2 years to live, then you don't have to be old to be in the crone phase. At that point in time, if somebody feels like, okay, I've only got so much of my life left, that's a really powerful question. What are you going to do with what time you have left? Every day counts, right? To where we would not take our days for granted. And then the third card, which is a really big question, is what is ending? And we have the Queen of Swords. And I love the Queen of Swords like I think many people do. She's a force to reckon with, and again, it can be a male or female. Sex doesn't matter. But what I love about this card when I ask what is ending, I like how her sword is planted in the ground here. She's not holding it upright like she's giving a verdict or prepared to somehow defend her stance, saying, okay, what I say goes, kind of thing. She's got it down, and she's looking upward at this beautiful black bird, either a raven or a crow, which, given, I don't know, it's hard to say. Usually a raven has that long curved beak, and a crow is short as far as its beak goes. But it shows around her there's a change in seasons. So here, these little trees are barren, and then in the background it's green and lush. But she's garmented in this beautiful, like, blue colored gown. Like, I love that color, at navy blue. And she's got her gloves on. So she's holding stuff close to the cuff. She's not going to give everything away, you know. There's a beauty and a grace with that. And I think that really reflects, as we get older especially, we choose our battles. We realize we don't have to fight all the battles. They're not all worth their time and energy, so why waste your time? And at this point in life, with this crone energy, this could be a messenger of death. Maybe this is the black bird. Maybe it's bringing some dark words saying, hey, you know, I'm coming for you. This is the end of your life. You've lived your life, you know, and now it's time to go into the next realm, the next phase of life. No matter what you believe in, this could be a sign of that. And then she's open to that. She's fought these battles. She's planted the sword down. She's standing with grace and being open for the next thing. With death, it just leads to that transition of life. We go right back to the earth, and we nourish the earth, and then earth continues to grow. And that's the cycle of life, right? So I like this. I like that we ended all of this with that card. So it makes sense to me. So if you're still on here with me, because I can't really see everybody who's on here with me. Feel free to give me your thoughts on it. But that was a lot of fun. So I think that this would be a really good spread to do. If you feel kind of stuck in life, you can kind of reflect on, like, maybe your own journey, no matter where you are, to see if it resonates with you or not. And even compare, kind of like what I was doing early on, between the rows, look for any similarities, you know. So I just love the overall energy of the spread that we did, because we have a lot of page energy, which I love the idea of learning my whole life, you know, and I don't want to know everything, because if we have everything figured out, how boring would that be? And Rebecca says you're going to have to do it later. Very, very cool. I love that you have this book. When I saw that you got the book, like, I was actually in Cottleville. I was dropping off the money to secure my vending license to work there in October for the Witches in Cottleville. I saw it on my Facebook pop up, you know, and I was on my timeline. I was like, oh, Rebecca got the book. It made me so happy. I remember where I was when I saw that you got your book and you did your spread. It was such a pretty picture of your spread, too. I agree, it is a powerful spread, because if anything, it shows that, well, that infinity, that life and death, that never-ending loop. And, you know, Honor, I've been seeing things about the Lion's Gate, to where I know a little bit more about what you were talking about earlier. So, like, today is, like, a great day, I think, to do, like, a spread similar to this and reflect, because it's all about that manifesting abundance. I knew with the lion being involved, it had to deal with Leo energy, but I do not claim to be, like, this expert astrologer, because I'm not. And Rebecca says, I've done a few of them and love them so far. there's so much to pick from. Like when I very first got this book, I would do it like by the date, you know, okay, we're on this date, I'll do this one. But what resounds with me more is just flipping through it. And then whatever spread might resonate with me based on what I'm going through or what I want to do with our group, that's the one I want to do, I think. So that, you know, I say you always do what resonates with you. And yeah, big manifestation day. So I know it's a lot of pressure, right? To think, well, gosh, what are we manifesting in life? Are we cool with what we're manifesting, or what is it that needs work? And I think we always have work to do. So, yeah. So, as always, I am so appreciative of your time. I love our group very much. You make my heart happy with just your friendship and your presence. And I always offer it up to our group because our group's all about being a safe, supportive environment. If any of you guys ever want to do a spread, it doesn't have to be like me or anybody else. That's not the point. People do what resounds with them, and they come on, whether it be a go live, a video, it could be a picture of a spread with interpretation, whatever you're most comfortable with. Feel free to read for our group. Because that way, if you're thinking about, if you're tipping your toe into the waters of wanting to read for other people, this is a safe space, because I wouldn't tolerate any ignorant behavior with our group. If someone was coming and act ignorant, they're not going to stay in our group. They're just not. That energy is not welcome in here. But it would be a safe space to be able to do a reading. And if you do a go live, you could interact with others and kind of find out, like, wow, this is kind of fun, you know. It's not as intimidating as what a person might think. And think, oh, you're welcome, Rebecca. Oh, you guys are so worth my time. You, each and every one of you, and you're one of them. We still, like I said, we need to meet for coffee. I just hadn't messaged you yet. And, you know, I've been meaning to message you to meet for coffee or even lunch. Just because I think it'd be cool to meet you in person. And if you live farther away from me, because I live in Arnold, I'll meet you halfway. What I'll do is when I get off here, I'll go ahead, I'm going to shoot you a message and do this thing before I get sidetracked with something. That way we can meet up and have coffee. And if you want, if it resonates, I'll always bring a tarot deck with me. We can always do readings for each other too while we have our coffee. I say, why not? I think that would be fun. So very cool. Well, I hope that you all have a restful evening, and I'm losing my voice, and I will be back on tomorrow. So I will see you later. Bye.